Welcome back, Lydia.
Hey,
How are you?
hey, Dale. I'm good. Thanks for having me. Thank you so
Uh,
much. Yes,
well,
feeling a lot better. Stronger.
welcome back, Lydia. So I noticed on your tweet, I sense a little bit. You said, it was what we were going to talk about a couple weeks ago, sadly. And you know what? We can't write the narrative, right?
Right.
So I
Right.
mean, it's I hard to be patient and
Yeah.
wait for things to begin to you know turn one way or the other. But how do you handle these times? Do you kind of walk away from the market, or do you shorten time frames to look for, scalps? What's your way of dealing with it? Because it's almost more pressure sitting on the sidelines. The
Sure.
waiting's the hardest part, Tom Petty, than it is being in a trade, even if you're in a drawdown.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's three things for me. So first, I know my trading style. I know when it works and when it doesn't. So I think it's really super important that we have to know ourselves and how we trade and in what environment. So I know that my style works best in trending markets, and I know we're not trending. The pound is not trending. It hasn't trended for maybe 2 months,
Okay.
and we're in some really well-defined ranges. So that's why I said sadly.
Right.
We
Right.
haven't broken out yet. I thought, with some kind of resolution around Brexit, which yes, it's now delayed out to October. I thought we'd get some movement in pound. We haven't. Um, so the second thing is, yeah, shorten up your time frames, or just know the market that we're in and trade it accordingly. And the third thing is not. So I've actually just been like almost mantra chanting. I have to remind myself it's better to be on the sideline than just to throw out a trade. And I know the conditions under which I want to start really being aggressive, and that is when we break out. And so it's just like, Lydia, we haven't broken out yet. We haven't broken out yet. Oh, we're in a range. Okay, we're at the top of the range. Take this trade. We're in the middle of the range. Don't trade. Don't trade. It's just, I really
Yeah.
have to talk myself out of not trading because it's been, I mean, for me, it's been a month and a half. Um, and that
Lydia,
was a month and a half to
I
figure it
actually have
out.
to, yeah, I actually have to write those things you said down. And you know what? It's less effort to see it than the repetitive self-talk. Because you see something in writing, it's NLP, and the visual of it, rather
Right.
than the intangible thought rumbling through your head.
Yeah.
Anyway, may want to write a couple words down that are key words for you, and you'll just look at it, and you won't even have to say it. You'll be
Yeah.
reminded of it.
That's true. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so you haven't traded, you said, in what, month and a half?
I haven't traded the way I'd like to. I've taken a few trade ranges here, range trades here and
Okay.
there. Pound Kiwi has a nice defined range.
Okay.
The pound dollar has a nice range. The euro pound everything's ranging. I mean, everything's
Okay. All right.
so
So let's talk about your ranges and levels that you consider to be critical so that we could coattail you when things happen.
okay. This is the pound dollar taking a look at. I mean, it's been grinding. It had been grinding lower. If we just look at a daily chart, I think what this is what you guys call is this a descending triangle where we're having this
Yeah.
support at 130
Yeah.
and we're having these higher lower highs here, and
Yeah.
so I'm waiting for that breakout. And I think this is it should break. The thought is that it would break out to the downside. To me, obviously here it's a fib move. It's just really finding support against 130, which is also close to the 38.2 Fibonacci level. But when we zoom in, we've really just been in this really tight 100 pip range between 131.20 and 130 to the extreme, but 130.50. I mean, this range has been tight for all of the month, so about 2.5 weeks now. I haven't traded the pound dollar since we broke down from 133 down to 130, and then it just hasn't. I don't sell these tops here because to me there's also a larger range between 133 and 130. So I don't take these 133, 131 trades because to me it's the middle of the larger range. So I
Could also be some stop hunts in those ranges too, where they, how the market will, at times they're magnets for market makers looking for liquidity.
Yeah, I think 130
Yeah.
is a big level for that. I think 130 is a huge level. So every time we kind of we have stop running at 130, and we break this level, we always
Hmm.
close the week above it and we find ourselves going higher. So right now, it used to be that we were going as far as 32, 132, 133. Lately, for the past couple weeks, we've been just getting as high as 131, 20, 131. 50, even some exchange, and some, but mostly it's just been 131, 131, 20. And so for me, for the pound dollar, I need to see a break above 130. I need to see a break below 130. And even then, because I don't have a bias on direction here. I come out to my daily chart and I still see it in the fib. So I'd like to see it above 133.50. I'd like to see it below 130, and I just would be kind of tentative because I think we'd find buyers still in all the way through here up until this support. And this is, our big time support. Our first big support after 130 is 127.75. So pound dollar for me has been difficult. It's been hard to get a read on the dollar because even though fundamentally there's some bearishness there just with the Fed turning dovish on us, the
Hmm.
dollar is refusing to sell off in a sustained way, especially against the euro. Against the euro, we've seen a lot of dollar strength. So it's just been hard to get a handle on, and that's fine. It's just, I move on to the next pair. I
You
don't
know,
trade or
talk,
situation.
talking about something, and I'm glad you're here today. I've been talking about, how many people have been bearish euro pound and the 86.40, 86.50 breakdown level on the
Yeah,
weekly,
yeah, yeah,
and they've made no money,
yeah.
and it keeps coming back there. And I love trades that are failed breakouts, and I'm just thinking that the market is just saying, oh, okay, you missed the breakdown at 86.50. I'll give you another 3 months to decide to sell the breakdown because I want to make your trades, even though you're late on the trigger, we're going to let you in here, Dale. You can short it. What do you think? Do you feel jaded about breakouts that don't pay off maybe one retest, but multiple retests? Do you
Yeah.
become jaded like an old guy like me, Lydia?
Well, I don't jaded or the market starts to
Skeptical.
mess with you because now you're starting to think, well, maybe we wouldn't break down further. And I just, I come back to the weekly chart and like, well, we've been in a range above 86 and 86.50 for a year and a half. And as we know, if you break out one direction or another, you
Right.
tend to trend in that direction. So it's hard for me to give up the bearish case for the pound, for the euro pound. My bias is that it goes to 83 after
Okay.
this breakdown. And like you said, we keep coming back into 86.50, and here we are again.
Yeah.
And sellers are stepping in. We're having this battle out. It's moving off of 86.50 right now, 86.47, and so
Yeah.
sellers are stepping in here too. Yeah, it keeps coming back in, and yeah,
Just
I've
feels like there could be a hell of a squeeze from people who got very bearish on a breakdown. They've had no reason to cover their shorts yet, but I think the market's about to give it a reason.
yeah, yeah, I think so. On the daily here, we just keep getting these failed lows. So this was a great
Oh,
pop. We had a bullish
yeah.
momentum. I put this here because I saw this as what is this, a
I like
flag?
that. You
And
call
then
that a flag?
it was respecting it, and then we broke out of it a couple days ago. But
Okay.
anyway, I was just
Nice
looking
one.
at that, just seeing, okay, there's potential for this to pop higher. We have this building momentum and the RSI. We have these failed lows. So even after this nice pop higher into the 38.2, and we slammed
Yeah.
lower back to 85, and or even broke below 85 for a day, and then we went right back to 86.50. And so ever since we can't, and
It's
even
like
that
a beach ball. You ever go,
Yeah,
Lydia, you
yeah,
go
yeah,
to the
exactly.
lake and,
Yeah,
huh? You keep trying to
exactly.
push it down and it pops up.
And it
That's what
pops
it
up.
feels. Yeah.
And we can't even get new lows. We didn't get new lows after that. So this failed low for me is a signal that we move higher. We move into 88, 87.50, 88,
Okay.
and according to the Fibs, we can go as high as 88.50, which would turn a lot of people bullish, I think, which would be, just one of those perfect opportunities for Mr. Market to just say ha and drive everybody lower. But just to keep in mind that this, not only could we go higher above 86.50, we could go 200 pips higher and still be in a correction. And so, just keep that in mind, that even a breakout above 87 could still just be a correction and an opportunity for sellers to step in. 88.50 is that big time support, now resistance level, if we can get above 86.50. So here we are, we're falling away. So it's another frustrating market, because when we broke below 86.50 and we closed the week below it, and we closed below 86, I just knew that we were headed lower, and it was going to be a clear a clear move to the downside, um,
Those,
which also meant, though, a strong pound, which kind of didn't jive with what was going on in Brexit at the time. But if we remember, at the beginning of the year, pound was finding strength off of Brexit delays, a possibility of delays, a possibility of no deal, everything that was was turning the market bearish against the pound last year. It was bullish for the pound this year. So it's been, the sentiment is very, very strange. So I thought a delay out to October would give the market reason to buy pounds, or a reason to move, period. And we just haven't even gotten that. So I don't
yeah.
even know what the impetus is going to be to finally break us out of some of these ranges.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel a short squeeze coming and their heads will be squeezed so hard their eyeballs will
Euro
pop
pound,
out.
seriously. Yeah, I think a move
Eh,
to 88.50 is not to be ruled out.
Milser Pinkert's looking for 93, 94. So,
Really?
yeah. So anyway, yeah, go ahead. It's on tape. Grill me later when it's 83. So, Lydia, I know you kind of have, I'm wondering, because every time we talk about the guppy, you also have some view or bias on the end. So why don't we go there?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for me, the yen has actually offered a nicer, larger range,
Yeah.
but it's range bound nonetheless. So let's move this out to a daily chart. So this is what I've been watching, this 143 for the last couple months, and the fact that we're finding resistance at 147 should be bearish for the pound yen.
Hmm.
And yet we're getting kind of this same thing where we're finding that we're finding buyers step in at these support levels, and now we're getting higher lows. So the pound yen has just been it's been a longer range, but it too is also range bound. And
Yeah.
guys, like, that's why I said, again, I alluded, like, I have no bias with the pound right now.
I
It
don't
can
blame
out, it can break out to the upside or to the downside. I just want it to break out. And then we saw with the euro pound, we got to break out, and then it stalled. So
you. Yeah.
I really have no biases here, which is tough. It's tough for me because
Yeah.
I
It's
know my style. I know my
because
style.
because you want to tell people something.
Yeah.
You're involved with the public, and Lydia, but it's wisdom now to say I don't know. When
Hmm.
I was young, I was so uncomfortable with saying I don't know. I would find something to say.
Yeah, you had to have answers. Yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah.
guys, look, shorten your
Yeah.
time frames, and don't stay in long time.
Yeah.
I've just been able to pull really little bits, little chunks here and there. I mean, very little, like 10, 20 pips for me, and
Yeah.
that's very small, and that's all I've been able to pull out of here,
Okay.
because I'm just playing the ranges, and it just, my style, it won't yield much. But I know we're in a range bound market, and I have to play it accordingly, or not at all, or not at all. So
Okay. Well, you said at the beginning, I think you brought up pound kiwi. Are
Oh
there's better trends against the commodity currencies, right?
well, look here.
Oh no, I guess there aren't.
So this is the range I've been playing. It's a tight 100 pip range. It's been
Wow.
golden. This is the one. This is where I've been able to find trades. It's 194.15 to
Yeah.
193.19. It's 100 pips. It's just been perfect. It's you get when we're at the bottom right
Yeah.
now. You buy
Since the
it.
beginning of the month, you've
Yeah,
had that
I'm
range.
telling you, it's been
Multiple opportunities just to
yeah,
range trade.
yeah. So I've been
Okay,
getting really good
why
at
would you
that.
pick this one? Tell me what you like about this, because everything else we talked about was in a range. What about this formation or range attracted you to trade this rather than the other sideways ranges we talked about?
So the other ranges are we saw higher lows, we saw lower lows, or we
Okay,
saw higher
this,
lows, or we saw lower highs.
all
This
right,
one has just been consistently steady. It hits to the top of the range, it
okay.
turns around, it hits the bottom of the range, it turns
It's
around.
more defined.
Exactly. And
Got
it has less of opportunity. We've seen less times where it has stopped in the middle of the range and turned back towards the bottom, or stopped in the middle, turned back toward the top. It's just hitting the top to the bottom, top to the bottom. It's just like it's oscillating so beautifully that I've just stayed right in here. If I'm taking a trade, I'll stay here. If I'm in, again, and it takes discipline to trade a range, because you don't want to step in the middle of the range in either
it.
direction. You
Right.
just don't want to, because you never know when it'll trend again,
What do you
right?
try and pull out of a 100 pip range when you go in?
I'd like to try to get out about 60 pips, 70 pips. If
Okay.
you're getting the top and the bottoms
Yeah,
pretty well
two
defined.
thirds.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
you want to come out
you're
before we
not
get to the
trying to get
bottom.
the whole range because
No, I don't think that's realistic. And you'll find yourself getting stopped out at break even, or
yeah,
stopped out because you held it too long, being greedy.
yeah,
Yeah, just try to capture a majority. It's like trend trading. We don't try to get the entire trend. We try to get a nice meat of the trend, which is why I teach, retracements, coming in on retracements. You don't need to get the first move, but the next move is likely to be the 300 pip move, and you can get a nice size of that. So, yeah, this is kind of where I've been living.
okay. Well, Lydia, you know what? My trading warrior sister, you lived up to the promo that I sent out last night about your being a disciplined pro.
Oh, thank you, Dale.
Okay, and when you talk markets, it shows, and I really appreciate you being here. I'm so glad you're feeling better. Why don't
Thank
you
you.
take a little time to tell our viewers what you do and how they could hang out with you?
Thanks. Yeah. So, always, you can catch me on Twitter at Faith Might. Um, and I've been on there forever, it feels like, almost 10 years. And then everything goes on the blog. I like to say it all begins and ends here on the blog. Um,
Did I ever ask you where that picture
faithmightmx.com.
was from?
This picture? Oh, this
Yeah.
picture is it's the San Francisco coast. This is
Oh,
actually,
okay.
what beach is this? Down
Nice.
here. So I went, you can hike down to this beach down here. You can
Yeah.
almost have like a private beach. Yeah, this is like San Francisco,
Beautiful.
just
Cold,
north of San Francisco.
cold
Yeah,
water though.
yes, freezing.
All right, go
Hot
ahead.
day, freezing water.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
from Finland where I go from a sauna to an ice plunge. I can't do it. I'd have a heart attack, Lydia.
It can do that to
Yeah,
you. Yeah, Pacific Ocean is not forgiving. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm also an investment advisor. So if you go to click on Invest with Us, you can find out more about that, and then click through to the firm's website. Learn to trade. I started offering courses and mentoring and coaching for traders who want either newbies, and if you're new to markets and you just need some solid base foundation. I teach 5 indicators. I teach from a blend of a swing trader. So I do encourage that you find some day traders. We have amazing day traders that you can follow and learn from as well, and figure out which style works and resonates with you. I think for all of us, we learn from somebody, we learn from a mentor or a teacher, and then eventually we adapt that thing to ourselves. And I think trading is very much something that has to be customized and personalized to your
Yeah,
personality and to your lifestyle. But I just wanted to offer something that, gives you a base understanding of just reading charts. It's not even just Forex. It's really just how do you read a chart? How do you can analyze price action? And then if you want to go further than that, I offer some mentoring and one-on-one coaching. So that's Learn to Trade. And then all my thoughts on just market commentary period is here. I have an associate now, so he's also does a lot of the stock. I have people recently like, Lydia, you're doing a lot of stocks. What's going on? And I was like, well, the blog is expanding. I have more authors. And he's great. So he does, yeah, he has helped diversify the offerings here. So you can see we got the dollar cat on here. You guys know that's not me. We have Boeing on here, so I do try to do more stock commentary. I'm probably going to do. I'd always do pound stuff, but what's interesting is when his name is Dio, when he does pound stuff, and we can kind of banter about the pound. That's always fun because sometimes we just don't agree. He has a
yeah,
completely different trading style than I do, and his analysis is completely different. So that's why I love his additions.
yeah.
So
It's great
somebody
to
else
it's
also
great to
asked
have
me Bollinger
great to
Band.
show both sides of the coin,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I had someone say, "When did you start doing Bollinger Bands?" Like, that's not me. That's my other author. So
yeah,
it's nice that for him to come in and kind of diversify different looks of the market. And sometimes we do come to the same conclusions, which I think is awesome when he can look at Bollinger Bands and trend lines and see the same thing I'm seeing using Fibonacci levels and support and resistance. So
yeah. We
yeah.
believe in it here. I mean, it's great when
Yeah,
there's
I know you guys
confluence.
epitomize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know what, Lydia? I hope for you and all your mentees and clients that this spring, the rains that come bring up a bloom of pips for everyone your words touch. And happy Easter to you, my trading warrior sister.
Oh, I receive it. Thank you so much, Dale. Happy Easter. And thank you so much for bringing me back on. I really appreciate you guys
You're a
bringing me
regular.
back and asking me back on. I appreciate the support and now even if it's just through following or just tuning in and listening. Thank you so much.
Lydia, you're so welcome. Thanks very much. We'll get you booked again. Ping me next week and we'll find another day. Okay, my
Okay,
friend?
sounds good.
Okay, everyone. So that's what's today? Turnaround Tuesday. Okay, so I'm turning around and I'm turning off the platform. So thank you, Lydia, and thank you, F.A.C.E attendees. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See everyone tomorrow and see everyone in chat. Blake's in there, Steve's in there, and God, I don't know, 100 other guys that are professional traders. Majority of them, this is not a hobby. See you later, everyone. See you tomorrow. Good hunting and adios. Thank you, Lydia.